Have you ever wondered where you can find your most satisfying work? For me, the best place to start looking is to look at helping people who are like you. Look for people in a similar place to you on the journey, people who you're well placed to help, who your experience and your knowledge can really support. For these people, you have both the empathy for their situation, so it'll give you loads of energy, it will feel really authentic and really satisfying to help them. The other side is that you also have an awful lot of authority for their experience. You know exactly what they're going through because you've been through it too. For me, creating Meaning Bit and creating People Developing People has been exactly this journey. I was a successful professional, but I found my job less satisfying than I wanted to find it. So I started exploring ways to make it more satisfying and to help other people feel that way too. Whilst I was doing that, I came across some barriers and some difficulties around getting the business started and access to people. So I created People Developing People to create the kind of space that I needed myself. This is exactly the kind of thing that I'd like you to look at too. So some questions you can ask yourself to get this process going are, what would help your younger self? And that doesn't have to be much younger. Maybe that's what would have helped you 6 months ago. Maybe that's what would have helped you last week. But think back, what have you learned that you could then share with others and help them? The other thing to think about is, what's the next step for you personally? What is it that you need to learn next on your journey? If you choose something that you're not fully comfortable with, but you're excited by, then whatever you create, whatever work you do has tons of energy, it has tons of excitement in it, it has tons of possibility in it. Because it's not quite set yet. It's not a do this, do this, do this. It's actually much more alive. And that's what people will really respond to, and that's what people will really help people connect with their own possibility and their own sense of aliveness. And there are a couple of problems I've noticed that can stop you from getting started when you're doing this. The first one is this feeling that your problems are kind of trivial, that there's something more important, that there are bigger picture things, and that people like you don't have, because you don't entirely matter and your problems don't matter. There are people with bigger problems out there. Then people like you, their problems don't entirely matter either. And I want to tell you that's not true. That really connecting with how you can empower yourself and empower other people is the most important work that anyone can do. Because we've all got problems, we're all fighting, we're all trying to be better. And helping other people do that, helping other people open up, helping other people grow, and helping yourself grow at the same time is the most important work anyone can do. And that can feel like a really daunting thing. Suddenly you're responsible for all this growth. But do remember that people don't need a guru. They don't need someone who's solved all of the problems and forgotten how to solve all of those little local problems. They need a Sherpa. They need someone who's just a few steps ahead of them, acting as a guide, who's with them on that experience and can support them depending on what happens, depending on what the path throws up. So I'd like you to have a good think about what you can do to help people more like you. And please share it in the comments.